for he is worthy of all of our praise. He is more than worthy of all of our praise. Who would serve a God like that? A God that looked beyond our faults and saw the very need to bless. I don't know about you, but I just have to tell the man, thank you, sir. Realizing that he did not have to do it, but because he did, we can tell him thank you.
Thank you.
If you would, I would like for you to do me a favor as well as yourself a favor. Let us bow our heads, closing our eyes, taking a deep breath, forgetting those things that happened on yesterday, setting aside the things that happened on this morning. Let us open up our hearts and minds to receive from the Lord. Let us pray. Our most gracious and heavenly Father, once again, a few of your handmaid servants has assembled at this place and at this time. Now, dear Lord, the time has come that I must stand here before these stout people. Dear Lord, I stand as an instrument waiting to be used by you. Asking you, Lord, remove me out of self. Fill me, O Lord, with your Holy Spirit, that your word will go forth as a two-edged sword, cutting to and fro. Let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, be acceptable in our sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. And we all say, Amen.
Amen.
Give obedience to our heavenly and divine Trinity, to our son of the house, Reverend Swilly, to our officer, to our First Lady, Sister May, to Sister Swilly, to our mothers, to our urchins, to our musicians, to our choirs, to all of you God's children. It is indeed a blessing once again to be found in the house of the Lord one more time. I don't know about you, but I am glad to be in the house. There are other places I could have been. There are other things I could have been doing. But there is no greater place and no better thing to be doing than to be worshiping and giving God some praise. Amen. We are not going to hold you no longer than the Spirit of God will certainly allow us to. We'd like to call your attention to Luke chapter 5. Luke chapter 5, verses 4 through verse number 7. While you're looking for that, we want to congratulate all of our baptists, those of you who has confessed that Jesus is Lord, even over your life. Those of you that has done it for the first time, and those of you that have done it in a refresher course. But God is able to do all things but fail. We ask you to continue to put your trust in Him, and God will deliver you from it all. Luke chapter 5, verse 4 through verse 7. We have found to say amen.
Amen.
Have not found to say wait on me. We ask all those who can and will, let us stand for the reading of His word. You will find these words written therein in the King James Version. I see your page is turning. No bigger hurt. But there is unity, there is strength. You have to say amen. Amen. Don't have to say wait on me. You will find these words written in the King James Version. Now when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a draught. And Simon answering said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night, and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word I will let down the net. And when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fish, and their net brake. And they beckoned unto their partners, which were in the other ship, that they should come and help them. And they came and filled both the ship, so that they began to sink. You may be seated. Briefly, from this passage of Scripture, the Lord and I would like to keep in tune with our theme, Be Thou Faithful. We'd like to use for a subtopic on this day, how great is thou faithfulness? How great is thou faithfulness? Life is like a big classroom. You know how when we were going to school, how sometimes we regretted to go and sit in a classroom before a teacher as they began to teach us the things that would help us in this journey through this life. I don't know about you, but there were times when I was going to school that I was reluctant to listen to what was being taught to me by the teacher. Sometimes, even in the midst of them teaching, I was not paying attention to what was being taught.
Right.
And I must serve notice to those of you young people who are still going to school. It would be in your best interest that when you sit before the teacher, listen attentively to what is being taught you.
Yeah.
They're not up there just to be teaching to get a paycheck. Because if you know yourself and you know other students, it would be hard for you to teach yourself knowing who you are. Our generation nowadays are very impatient when it comes to learning. But I want to implore you that to learn all that you can while you have the opportunity, because I am at this point and at this time regret not going to class and sitting learning all that I can learn. Right. I look back over my life, there are some things that I need, even in my ministry today, that if it was not for God, I wouldn't know. There are some English that I need to know how to put grammar in the right place, but I don't know. But because I know the man that knows all there is to know about life, I sit in his classroom attentively. But because I did not sit in the classroom that was being taught to me while I was going to school, I regret that some things I did not learn. So I ask you, as you go to school from day to day, don't worry about your peers hunching you, trying to get you to talk, trying to get you to laugh, trying to get you to cut up. You let them know that I got a goal in mind, and that goal is not to be the class clown. Because I do know that even the comedians that you see on TV making what they call good money, when that end journey is over and they don't know the Lord, they still don't have nothing. All right. They tell jokes, they make you laugh, but then them themselves go home and cry every night because they don't have what fulfills them in life. Money is not what fulfills you. What fulfills you is the love of God. In our text today, we find that Jesus was teaching the people. And in the midst of Jesus teaching the people, everybody that was sitting before Jesus was not there to learn. See, I can relate to that. There were times when I was sitting before the teacher, but I was not there to learn. You had some Pharisees and some Sadducees and some scribes in this arena. But yet, and still, Jesus had to teach them. Even when you're in your classroom, even though you're not interested, the teacher still has to teach, because there is somebody that is interested in what's being taught. See, the text goes with us, and it lets us see that after Jesus had finished teaching the people, our text goes to show that he said he turned and began to speak with Peter, at that time called Simon. And our text is, be thou faithful. You see, I look back over my life, I look back over my times, and I wish that I was faithful in learning all that I need to know. But I thank God I have another opportunity. I can be faithful in my learning with the Lord. And the Bible says that, and now when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep. In life's lessons, sometimes we are bothered with discomfort. Sometimes in this life we're bothered with misfortunes. Sometimes in life we're bothered with mishaps, misunderstanding, shortcomings. All of these things are being dealt with us, are being taught to us by life. But we wonder sometimes, why is it that we have to go over the same thing over and over again? It's because you're sitting in the classroom of life and not learning from the experiences that life offers you. Do you not know that every experience that you have in life is a learning experience? It does not matter how good or how bad it is. Whatever the situation is, we need to take time and learn from life's teaching. See, when you learn from life teaching, and when you're faced with it again, you know how to handle it. It won't get you in the same predicament. It won't get you in the same shape that you're in now, because you have not learned from it. Why is it that when you make a mistake one time, and then you find yourself making that same mistake, you wonder why? And then because we don't understand why, we began to blame everybody else for us falling into the same thing over again. You know, a lot of times I would blame mom and them when they whooped me for things that I done. But I learned in this day and time, it was not them, it was because I didn't learn the lesson the first time that they were teaching me. And because I did not learn it, I had to go through the same consequences of unlearned lessons. I had to be whipped because of I didn't learn. Do you not know that when you tell a child a stove is hot, and until they learn that lesson for themselves, they're going to always wonder, how hot is that stove really is? But when they actually take time and test the stove for themselves and get burned, I guarantee you won't have to tell them that it's hot. They can tell you hot, because they have tried it for themselves. Sometimes in life, we're going to have to go through some stuff in order to be able to tell others how to make it over. Every incident in life that we go through is not always for us. Sometimes we have to deal with things in life, not for us, but those who are around us. Those that are going to come into, they may not be as strong as you are. They may not can handle it like you can. But God knows what we can handle. See, sometimes in life we depend upon what we know. You see, Peter's profession was fishing. Peter considered himself a professional fisherman. What it looked like. Now, Michael Jordan have made millions and millions of dollars playing basketball. What would I look like walking up to Michael Jordan today and telling him how he should have played ball? It would go in one ear and go out the other. Why? Because he would look at me and say, what is it that you can tell me that would change what I have already done? See, now what if Peter would have had that same mind when Jesus told him to go out and launch in the deep? See, Peter was a professional fishermen. See, sometimes in life, when we go through things in life, we wonder, Lord, how am I going to make it through? But God already knows your way out.
All right.
But the question is, how great is your faithfulness? See, Peter was a faithful fisherman. The Bible said every day, Peter and his brother would get on their ship and go out and fish. But this particular time, they did not catch anything. And so when Jesus looked at them and told Peter to go and launch out into the deep, what Peter said, Lord, we have toiled all the night and have caught nothing. How many of us in here today is struggling with something in life? Maybe you've been struggling with it for a very long time, and it seems like things are not getting no better. Instead of getting better, it seems like it's getting worse. It's because we've gotten comfortable in this life hanging around shallow water. We've got comfortable being close to the shore. In order to really learn what life has to offer us, sometimes you got to launch out into the deep. In other words, launching out into the deep means you got to trust God. See, in the shallow water, you can see the things that come before you. You can see the fish as they come in shallow water. But when you get out in the deep water, you don't know what's down there. So you got to trust what you have learned. See, Peter had to trust what he had learned, not from his experience, but from who Jesus was. He knew that this man is the same man that made miracles happen.
Amen.
This is the same man that came to John one day and said, I must be baptized of thee. This is the same man. So Peter had to have some faith. See, in order in this life, we're going to have to operate in faith. But in 2 Corinthians 5 and 7 says, we walk by faith and not by sight. See, a whole lot of things we're not going to be able to see in this life. See, we can't see what's tomorrow going to hold. So if we're going to be faithful to God, we're going to have to trust that he already knows what tomorrow is going to bring.
Amen.
See, when you know what God knows what tomorrow is going to bring, you got to trust him to not only bring you to the day, but carry you through the day.
Amen.
And sometimes in going through the day, you're going to have to go through some disappointments. You're going to have to go through some heartache. You're going to have to go through some pain. You're going to have to go through some sickness. You're going to have to go through some distress. But know that everything they endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You just go out through the day. Learn the lesson that life is teaching you. That at the end of the day, when you have made it to the end of the day, when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to worry about going through that same thing again, because you learned on yesterday what not to go through with on today. See, how many of us have gone through something yesterday, and when you got up this morning, you were still going through the same thing?
Right.
But life is teaching you a lesson. And the reason why Jesus wanted them to go and launch into the deep, because Jesus had already prepared a multitude of fish. And you look at the text. The text said, go and let down your nets. And that's what it was, nets with the S. Am I right? And when Peter said that, Peter didn't have but one net. So why is it that Jesus told Peter, go and launch out into the deep and let down your nets? See, each fisherman don't carry with them but one net. But why did Jesus tell him, let down your nets? See, you can't see your way out. But Jesus already knows a way out, because he has prepared the way for you. All you got to do is just learn what life is teaching you. And when you learn what life is teaching you, the Bible said, and Simon answered and said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night. In other words, Peter said, I'm experienced with fishing. But he said, and nothing nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. All right. See, Jesus said next. Peter said next. See, you have one thing in mind, but when you are faithful to God, He will bless you above and beyond what you can even imagine or even think. Peter had in mind one thing, but God had in mind multiple things.
Thank you, God.
See, when y'all are faithful to God, God not only will bless you, but He'll bless those around you.
Hallelujah.
He'll bless those that come in contact with you. See, when you receive a blessing, God don't only bless you, but He bless you to bless others. But the question is, how great is your faithfulness? Are you going to allow your disappointments to stop you from being faithful to God? You know how it is. Sometimes we get up on Sunday morning. The devil attacked us on last night. Said, don't you get up and go nowhere tomorrow. You get up on Sunday morning. Things not going right in the household. Husband acting up, wives acting up, children acting up, finances is funny. When you get up on Sunday morning. And because all those things is happening to you, you get so distressed that you stay at home. But I want to let you know that's what Satan wants you to do. Satan wants you to distrust God. See, he said, let down your net. See, you got to launch out in the deep. You got to go even when you don't want to go. You got to go even when you don't feel like you go. You got to go even when you can barely go. Why? Because you're saying to God, I am faithful unto you. I'm not just faithful when things are going well in my life. No, we can be faithful to God when we got money in the bank. We can be faithful to God when the husband opens up your door. When the wife cooks your meal and makes your bed up. We can be faithful when our children do what we said do. But what happens when the wife stops making up the bed? When the husband stops opening the door? When the children start getting disobedient? What do you do then? But you got to realize life has already been teaching you those lessons. When are you going to learn from life's lessons? But Peter had to learn quick in a hurry. He said, nevertheless, at thy word. But Peter was saying, I am faithful to what I've just heard you speak to the people. And I believe that you're who you say you are. But Peter said, nevertheless, at thy word, we'll let down the net. And as I get ready to come to a close, I ask you again, how great is your faithfulness? A whole lot of times, it's going to take something to come to the service of God. When you look around and you see people that it's not there. You look around and you can be able to lay down on the benches. You wonder and saying, well, ain't nobody else here. But oh, when Jesus began to hand out blessings, what is your mind on when Jesus began to hand out blessings? Your mind is on, Lord, give it to me. Bless me with more. Give me more. So that's what your mind is on. So if your mind is thankful to the Lord, when you come here, and there's nobody here but yourself, you said, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. Not just everybody else that come in with you, but he said, I will give you a crown of life. And the Bible said, because of Peter's obedience, when Peter let down the net, the Bible said they enclosed a great drought within the net. In other words, he remembered what life was teaching Peter. He went out there fishing on his knowledge. The first time. He went out there fishing on his profession. But oh, nevertheless, when he went fishing on the word of God, look at what happened. Peter went to the same place, done the same thing. But because of his faithfulness, he enclosed a great drought. The Bible said that he enclosed so many fish that the net began to break. He had to cry and the ship began to sink. Just can you imagine? Here it is, a big ship like a fisherman's ship. A fisherman's ship cannot, if the right ship won't even fit inside this sanctuary. But that ship, because of the fish, was beginning to sink. And Peter had to beckon for other ships to come and help them, haul in all of the fish. You know, sometimes people wonder why they are being blessed and they haven't done nothing. It's because of the company that they're keeping. Sometimes other folks are blessed because of who you know, of your faithfulness. If you have somebody that's having problems in their life, you be faithful to God. And when they hang around you long enough, God will in turn bless them because of your faithfulness. So I ask you a question this morning. How great is your faithfulness? Are you faithful to God only when you have something? Are you faithful to God only when you know what it is? But you got to be faithful to God, even when you don't know what it is. I know a man that was faithful, even unto death. Jesus knew what was beheading him. He knew that his purpose was to come down and redeem man back to God. See, Jesus knew that what was in store for him. Jesus knew that people was going to lie on him. How many of us know that when people are going to lie on us? Sometimes when people lie on us, we get hurt because of the lies. We get disgusted because of the lies. But how many of us know that Jesus knew the very man that was going to betray him? Yes. He knew that Judas one day will betray him. See, when Peter, you remember when Jesus asked his disciples, whom do men say that I am? And Peter said, thou art the Son of the living God. And then afterwards, Peter had to be denounced by God. And Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. But when Judas got ready to betray Jesus, what did Jesus call him? Jesus said, my friend, that you're going to do it quickly. He called Peter, the one that stood before 3,000 souls and called them to Christ. He called him Satan. But oh yet, he called Judas friend. You may ask yourself why. Is it that Jesus called Judas friend? How many know that if it wasn't for Judas betraying Jesus, we won't have a right to the everlasting life? But I'm glad because of Judas' faithfulness, not to the Lord, but the faithfulness of his greed. He accepted the bribery, but then I look at Peter, come on. And I asked Peter, how great is your faithfulness? And if Peter was here, Peter would say, there was one day when I was asked a question. Do I know the man? I told the people, I don't know the man.
Jesus, have mercy.
How many times have people asked you, do you know the man? But you looked at where you were. Maybe you was in the nightclub. And people want to know, do you know the man?
Come on.
Maybe you was in a place that you shouldn't be.
Make it plain.
And somebody may ask you, do you know the man?
Come on.
Have there ever been a time because you was picking it up and putting it down? Dropping it like it was hot.
Come on.
Did you tell them you didn't know the man? But after you got through dropping it like it was hot, the aches and the pain began to come over your body.
Jesus, have mercy.
Who did you call?
Have mercy, Lord.
You didn't call on the stinky leg. You didn't call on dropping it hot. But you called on the name.
Lord. Jesus.
You knew that dropping it hot couldn't save.
Jesus.
But you knew a man by the name of Jesus. And you be said because Jesus is the Savior of the world. When I get in trouble, I don't call my mother. When I get in trouble, I don't call my dad. When I get in trouble, I don't call my wife. When I get in trouble, I don't call my sister. But when I get in trouble, I call on the name of Jesus. Because I know there's power in the name move. Pain began to move. Trials began to move. Tribulation began to move. Every day began to move to a higher day. I don't know about you, but how great is your faithfulness? I found out that if I'm faithful to Him, I can pick up my leg. I'm faithful to Him when I can barely move. Because the same man that helped me pick up my leg when I can move is the same man that'll pick up my leg when I can't move. But the question is, how great is your faithfulness? See, we're faithful to everything else. We get on these jobs, and our jobs require much of us. But the Lord only requires a little of us. The only thing He requires is that we are faithful unto death. And if you're going to be faithful to God, you can't look at the circumstances of life and let it determine how faithful you are. Because do you not know that life, as we know, will make us give up? Throw in the towel. Say, I'm not going nowhere, no more, no how. If it wasn't for the bill, I wouldn't go back to the job. But because of my bills, I got to go back to the job. Well, what about your soul? When you look at your soul, and it's dark and dreary, and you say, I can't go back to that church. I can't go back and hear that preacher. I can't go back and hear that choir. I can't go back and hear that beeping. I can't go back and look at that usher. I can't go back and look at those sitting around me. But I want to let you know, are you willing to go to hell? But it determines how great is your faithfulness. Where you spend eternity. Don't fool yourself. Your friends can't get you to heaven. Wives can't get you to heaven. Husbands can't get you to heaven. And you yourself cannot get you to heaven. Nobody but Jesus. And we must know that only what we do for the Lord will last. So how great is your faithfulness? Jesus was faithful all the way up Calvary Hill. Jesus laid down on that rugged cross because He was faithful to His Father. He knew what they was going to do. He knew that it was going to rivet His hand, rivet His feet. Jesus, He knew all these things was going to happen to Him. But He said, and if I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw all men unto me. Jesus is yet drawing. He's drawing us out of our discomfort. He's drawing us out of troubled mind. But the question is, how great is your faithfulness? You got to know your blessing is determined on your faithfulness.
Oh, hallelujah.
Not unto man, but your faithfulness to God.
Hallelujah.
Man don't have a heaven nor a hell to put you in. But I know a man that does have those things. He got a place for you. How you know He got a place? John 14 tells us. He said, I go to prepare a place. For you. If I go and prepare a place, I will come again and receive you unto myself. When they hung Him between heaven and earth, the Bible said that He hung His head in the locks of His shoulders. Still faithful. Soldier pierced Him in the side. Still faithful. He was so faithful that He said, Father, forgive them. For they know not what they do. Even when we mess up, even when we do wrong, Jesus is asking His Father to forgive us.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
How you know He's asking Him to forgive us? For the Bible said that He was died and was buried in a borrowed tomb. But early that third day morning, my Lord, my Savior, got up. And when He got up with all power in the palm of His hand. Jesus was faithful even unto death. And all He asks us is to be thou faithful. So I ask the question to each and every one of us, and can't nobody answer it but yourself. How great is your faith? If you want to get out of what you're going through in life, get faithful to God. Just be real in what you do. If you're going to sing in the choir, be real. Urging at the door, be real. In the deacon ministry, be real. A mother ministry, be real. In the preaching ministry, be real. But whatever you do, be real in what you do. Don't come just to be in the numbers. But come, wants to be a part of the solution. Do you not know that God has a purpose for each and every one of us in this place? Amen. For this church? How you know that? How you know He has a purpose? Because you know what you done Sunday? Do y'all know what you done Sunday? You came and confessed that you was willing to be a servant to the Lord. You wasn't saying, I want to be a servant to Springridge. But you said you want to be a servant to the Lord. See, you can't carry Springridge with you everywhere you go. Only in mind. But everywhere you go, the Lord is there. And that's who you're saying you're going to be faithful to. Not to me, not to Springridge, not to wherever you are. But you're saying, I am faithful to the Lord. That when I need somebody, I don't have to wait till Sunday morning to come to Springridge and ask Springridge for something. I don't have to get on the telephone and try to get hold of somebody that got some cool to get them to give me what I need. But whatever I need, all I got to do is take it to the Lord in faithfulness. And He will bless me above and beyond what I can even think or imagine. Why? Because that was His purpose. Let us stand.